was in textile management from 1981 through 2004. At our particular operation, we were the largest employer in the county. We had over 2,200 employees. At the peak in about the mid-90s, we were making 70 to 90 million linear yards of denim, and everything was going gangbusters. And they started moving all their plants to Mexico, and gradually our production went down and down. And in 2005, our 4 plant operations finally all closed their doors and had made a big dent on the employment in our area. So we went to probably 17–18% unemployment.
Lunchtime I start daydreaming, my inside starts screaming.
One of our legacy companies here was the American Tobacco Company. Many years ago it employed about 4,000 people throughout the city. Just in the horizon past our main downtown area, you see the Lucky Strike smokestack. That's where that brand was formed, and it's an incredible legacy as it is across all of North Carolina with the tobacco industry. That industry as a whole is generally on the decline, but it's still an important part of our heritage and a part of our economy.
At the American Tobacco Company. At the American Tobacco Company.
For a small community, we obviously don't have the explosive growth that some of the bigger cities have, but it's little by little we're starting to see some growth and more interest with businesses wanting to set up shop downtown. You know, across the country, really, small and large communities are focusing on their downtown areas as the core gathering place. It's the place where people want to come and be a part of something. We do have some people that live downtown that have renovated the upstairs of old historic buildings, and we've got a lot of room for more of that type of growth and development, and we're excited about the opportunity.
We needed a place where we could actually put our vehicles, but to build a place, it would have cost us twice as much as to buy this building and renovate it. And it has the space downstairs to do what we need to do, as well as this is our living quarters. But we enjoyed just bringing it together, fixing it up. We visit a lot of small cities like this. We go into them, and a lot of people are starting to do a lot of things to bring these cities back to life. One of the things we've seen is beer breweries. Yeah. A lot of the places are coming up with these breweries, and people are coming from miles around to enjoy the different beers that, you know, they're making in these different little towns. And, you know, once things like that come and you've got restaurants that's coming, you know, people will start coming.
The way that cities were started, the downtown was the central business district. Cities started to expand, they kind of forgot their downtowns, and downtowns across the state have been, you know, floundered through the 80s, and that's why I wanted to come in and just be a part of that for Reidsville. I got my first Mr. Beer kit in 1995. I was 21 years old, and I brewed a little beer on it, and it was the worst thing I'd ever tasted in my life. Over the last 10 years or so, people started begging me, Eric, open a brewery, open a brewery. And I don't want to open a brewery. You know, when I woke up this morning, I didn't feel like brewing beer. But then I started looking at the cooperative business model, and I want this to be the place that people can come, bring their families. We've learned over research that breweries become a destination. People will travel just to come to them. But we want to see people from all over the county come in. You know, hey, let's drive down to Reidsville tonight. Let's go have a beer at Lucky City. And we're just wanting to kind of create that buzz here in Rockingham County.
Won't you take me back to where I'm from?
Stoneville and real estate have gone hand in hand for me. Even the elementary school here, all 3 children went to the elementary school, you know, so this sounds so sappy, but Stoneville is legitimately the Hallmark movie town. That's what we are. We are really, you know, where we come back home. You know, that's what Stoneville is.
Our tagline is welcome home. You know, and that's what we want to be. We want these things to grow organically and really keep that small town feel.
Rocking hand, rocking hand.
Skipping one building and the next is Debbie's Restaurant and Catering. You've not lived until you have had a tenderloin biscuit from Debbie's. You can have it dipped in gravy or not, that's up to you. But they're really well known for their tenderloin biscuits. The Welcome Stoneville, that was one of our first projects that we undertook when we came together as a group. And that was one of our first money spent for the town.
One of the reasons we started this core group is because we wanted to increase our chances of getting the Main Street grant through the state. We went through that process for 2 years, and we finally, the group just got traction, so we've been doing a lot of different projects on our own, and even though we didn't get approved to get to the Main Street program, I think it's made, you know, the group and definitely the downtown a better place, everybody working together.
The majority of my clients that buy here are not from here. All I have to do is put them in my car and drive through town and talk about the town. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to buy the house that is in Stoneville. I don't know, I think I'm better at selling our town than I am homes. But when I show them the town and talk about the town, tell them about Hunley's, tell them about the grill, tell them about the golf cart ordinance, you know, those kinds of things. People want to be a part of something like that. That is really what attracts people here.
Broken promises and glory days.
We lost a building there on the corner during the tornado, and we dedicated that. It's called Friendship Park, and we dedicated it to the two people that lost their lives in the tornado. And there's a fountain there and plaques in honor, and the town clock there in honor of them. This one here, right under the water tower, they were hit when the tornado came through. And actually, the hairstylists that are there today were there the day the tornado came through, and they were hiding all together, so the clients and them, in a bathroom as it took some of their building away.
I would like to see, you know, try to help the town and get some businesses in here at some point. More businesses, more activity. If I can help out any way, it's even better. I do this when somebody wants something, then, you know, when I don't have any projects going on, I start trying to fix up the shops.
When Tripp bought these buildings, they had been empty for years and really had fell into a high state of disrepair. And as you know, when people go through a community and they see the storefronts, that's how they judge the community. And those storefronts just sent the wrong message. So Tripp, he has done so much work and put so many resources into increasing the beauty of the storefront. Also a great partner for this project on the Pocket Park because we're trying to marry uses that he wants to have for the property in the future with uses that we would like to have the community to have.
This is, as long as I've known, has been Rotary Park. And as you can see, it's under construction. Now we have undertaken a new project and started the plans with different pavings and benches and art features and fountains, and we're even trying to work towards the back where there's a water sidewalk, you know, that shoots up through the sidewalk for kids to run through and all, and having a movie screen at the back so we can do town movies.
Ain't it funny how every now and then the unfortunate kind get lucky sometimes?
The building here that we're in is a 108-year-old building. Back in the 40s, sort of a unique story, the building next door caught fire and burnt down, and that was a big event here in town. And this building was actually on fire as well. And a lot of that character still shows throughout the old brick. When we took this project on, it had sort of a special meaning to us. My business partner's family had some ownership ties to this, And his dad, when he was growing up, actually had his office in the basement of this building. So he would come here every day and hang out with his dad. So this building wasn't just a building to us. It had some history, and we really wanted to do a good job restoring it back and be an example for what can be done with these old buildings in town. Back in 2000, I was a sophomore at our Central High School, and we had a pretty epic year on our soccer team, and we ended up at the state championship. We won the game, and I can still remember to this day being in the caravan and being headed back through Rutherfordton to the high school. Would come drive through Main Street and see the people, sort of celebrating you, and just the trip back through here. That just takes me back, back to younger days of being here in Rutherfordton and what it really means to have a community, gather around you and support you. And so that's part of the reason why giving back here is so important to us.
As many of us in North Carolina know and have experienced, we had a very, very difficult time adjusting to the loss of textiles. We have 3 major towns in our county that were manufacturing centered that are revitalizing themselves with reuse opportunities. People are moving in from other areas because the cost of living has got so high. The town only has 4 vacant buildings right now. People have come in to establish their enterprise and their business, and they're building their apartments over the buildings of Main Street. So we have housing, we have commerce, and we have visitors coming in. It's going to be a very, very good economic boom for us.
The town has many different initiatives that we're working on, but the one that is kind of the catalyst and the backbone to it all is our Greenway project. The vision was to connect Crestview Park at the southern end of town to Kiwanis Park, right in the heart of our downtown, with a 10-foot wide paved asphalt Greenway trail. They're not just good for our waistline, but also the overall community wellness.
We've been working for the last year with Rutherford County and their Tourism Development Authority. Rutherford Bound is the tourism master plan, and this master plan is aimed at identifying capital infrastructure projects that will advance the tourism industry in Rutherford County. But one of the key aspects from a tourism development standpoint is how do we use the trail, leverage the trail to pull the visitor into this region, but then how do we pull them off those trails into our historic downtowns where there's a real economic development impact.
What you'll see from Rutherford in the next 5 to 10 years is that continued effort to keep our town moving to a gold standard, to keep us being the one that people talk about and the destinational place for Western North Carolina. For those folks that are realtors in our community, they truly are our family of ambassadors. They hear the things that I can't hear. They hear the things in the living room that make things go. What people want in a community is obviously sometimes better said to your realtor in that process of looking for a home. And it's been very beneficial for us here to keep our realtors both engaged and at the table. I would just challenge the realtors to make sure that they're engaged with their community, and for the communities to engage their realtors, to get that feedback and to understand what your market's doing and respond to that.
That there isn't a lot of money in these small towns, but there's money here. You just have to start having things that people want. We want things here. We want younger people here where they'll bring ideas, different people, different cultures, to bring different things to the city. And this is what's needed in a lot of these small towns.
So right now, we're on the cusp of attracting people from the metro areas. It's just great to be here. We get to live at a place that most people are envious of being able to visit.
In Reedsville.
It's not if you build it they will come, but it's like if you build one thing, then another thing will get added and another thing will get added, and people are like, I want to be a part of that. People see someone else doing something and they're like, oh, well I'm going to do something too,
It just made sense that I could take my hobby and my passion and incorporate that in with my closest friends and family that I live with. I do have plans on opening up another, what we call a boutique brewery, right here in downtown Reedsville, and also a boutique distillery. So I guess Eric is going to open a brewery after all.
Just stare up at that smokestack and my troubles fade away. just as thick as tobacco gum. Where I was born, where I was raised, on broken promises and glory days.